You know what is journalism, right? So what is online journalism? See, simple answer is online journalism is journalism that is practiced online, right? Can you say that? Journalism which is practiced online is known as online journalism. So what is journalism? You're studying journalism, right? So what is journalism? Yes, Daniel, Monica, what is journalism? Journalism is nothing but it's a non-fiction or a documentary type of narrative or reports which analyzes the facts and figures, right? And which is selected by the reporters. And uh, for example, writers or editors, they select the reports and they tell a story from a particular point of view or angle. That is journalism, right? So, journalism has been traditionally published in print, right? Obviously, earlier it was in print form, print media, right? Newspapers. Then it was in films, presented in films, broadcast media, on television and radio, right? So now online includes many features, right? Most prominent feature is the World Wide Web. As you all know, we discussed in previous classes also, World Wide Web. So online information services is available through internet, right? So it plays a very big role and it's very simple and easy for access to journalists, online journalism. So what are the distinguishing characteristics of online journalism as compared to traditional journalism? You know, you understand, right? What is traditional journalism? What do you mean by traditional journalism?
Newspapers, magazines.
Yeah, newspapers, conventional media, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not only newspapers, magazines, television also comes under conventional, traditional media.
Okay.
Okay. So online means what is online?
Now we have different opportunities, different platforms to express ourselves. Social media
Yeah, social
through
media
web.
is real time, right? Online is
Uh,
simply real time. That means online journalism can be published in real time. That means you can update breaking news and events like as they happen, as and when they happen. Then there is nothing new here. We already had this in conventional media, right? In television, we had breaking news, right? Earlier in radio and radio also we had this feature. But what distinguishes web journalism from this traditional journalism? One thing distinguishes this web journalism or online journalism from the traditional journalism. So what is that feature?
at, in a short span of time, we can reach more people through online journalism.
Interactivity element, right? The interactivity element is the distinguished feature. How you can say that interactive element is distinguished feature?
Because of internet, now everyone has internet access. So
There's immediate feedback, right?
yes.
You can leave a comment and also reply. You can give feedback, right? What about traditional media and conventional media? How is the feedback? How is the interactivity there in newspapers or in television? It takes time, right? For example, if you want to give your opinion on an editorial in a newspaper, you have to write a letter to the editor, right? So it will take 24 hours time for your letter to be read and published. So feedback element takes time. Whereas in online journalism or web journalism, there is immediate or instant feedback. Okay. So online journalism has shifted time. That means online journalism also takes advantage of shifted time. I mean, online publications can publish and you can archive the articles, right, for viewing now or later. Later also, uh, For example, today's newspaper, you can archive after a week or 10 days as well. Or you can archive or you can view the newspapers of 50 years ago, 1947 newspapers also, you can archive and view, right? So just as print, film, or broadcast publications allow these features, the World Wide Web articles can be, very easy, or of course, it's infinitely very easier to access, but the archive thing is also very unique about this. It's not possible with conventional media. Of course, you can store the papers, but not, the quality, how it will be after 50 years or so. So archive part here plays a very important role. You can store the storage part. Okay. So online journalism, what does online journalism includes? What are the elements of online journalism? You remember we discussed in earlier classes, in offline classes, what are the features or what are the elements of online journalism or multimedia? See, I told you earlier when we used to talk about media, we used to talk about media in isolation, right? That means print or text used to be a separate element. Then audio visual used to be a separate element, right? Now you have coming together of all these elements. Like you have text, you have graphics, okay? Then you have sound, music, motion, animation, graphics. All these things are combined. They come together on a single platform to converge and to tell stories in a more better way to the audiences, right? And I told you online journalism is interactive. This is very important element. See, we have hyperlinks, right? What do you mean by hyperlinks? Hyperlink, anyone on web? Hyperlink. We discussed yesterday also hyperlink. Hyperlink is an active link which helps us, if we click on that particular link, it helps us to navigate to another document or another web page, right? So this hyperlink represents the interactivity on the web. That means if you click on that particular link, you will be easily able to access other elements, other pages. So this particular hyperlink, they link the various elements in a page, right? Okay, so you can get to know or read stories in depth. Okay, so you can include hyperlink. This is also an interactive element. Then traditional journalism, as I told you, guides the reader through. You have a linear narrative. There is only a one point of view, but it's not the case with online journalism. Here, the online journalists was what they do is they let the readers become participants. What do you mean by participants? How can the readers become participants in online journalism? The interactive element, right? They are
Example this class only. We are all participants in your
you are interacting. Yes, there is an interaction.
yes.
So this is one of the example. Very good. And then what are the other things? You can leave comment, provide feedback, right, to the journalists. And readers also they can click their way through those hyperlink set of pages which you provide as a journalist for the detailed background information of any particular story if you are writing, right? So this narrative part play a very important role, okay, in online journalism. This is not a linear narrative. That means this is not one-way narrative. This is two-way interaction, okay? Okay. So with this interactivity, the online journalists can, they can predetermine, or they can also, to a certain extent, the reader or the participants, they can, read the material, progress through the material, And also they can provide their opinion. And also this hyperlinks which you are going to provide as a journalist, this will encourage the reader or the participant to continue to explore various narrative threads. I told you yesterday what are threads, right? A single post consisting of replies, comments of a particular topic is known as a thread, right? So they can create thread, they can explore various topics. Okay, so this will help the reporter or the editor to collect a particular viewpoint on a particular topic. Okay, and here another feature is that the participants or the readers, I told you readers become participants, right? So they can respond instantly to the whatever news you present online, whatever news is presented by the journalist, they can respond instantly. So this response can take several forms. What are the forms in which you can, as a reader or a participant, can reply to the journalist? First common thing is email, right?
Yes.
Can you send an email to the journalist? Every journalist have their email ID mentioned along with the byline, right, of their reports. So the participant can send email to the reporter or the editor, right? And they can uh, give their opinion, right, about the publication, about the report. Okay, and these email letters can be published much sooner online than in print. If you are going to the conventional print form, it's very, time consuming. But online journalists, then and there, they reply to the emails, and that can be viewed for the, the comment section. If you enable this comment section, you will be able to read the responses as well, the comments. And these online journalists, they can also take advantage of threaded discussion. Threaded discussion means a thread consists of a single topic, right? Discussion on a single topic. So as a journalist, you can take advantage of this thread discussion and you can let your readers respond immediately. You can enable that comment section on your thread so that anybody can post, immediately to an article. Okay, comment to the article, and they can also comment to other readers' opinion, right? So in this way, you can carry out the discussion that can be accessed at any time, both by the journalist and both by the readers. Okay, here readers can become participants, right, in the ongoing creation of this editorial environment, overall editorial environment, which I'm talking about, because this instant feedback plays a very important role in unfolding the events, the story, in taking the viewpoint or perspective of the readers in your next story. So that plays a very important role. So this evolves from the journalist original reporting, which he has posted online. Okay, reporting the initial article, first article. Okay, here blogs also, yesterday as we discussed, they also play. Blogs are nothing but web-based journals, right? So these blogs also make this thing very easy for journalists. Okay, so how has the internet affected print journalism? Any idea? And whether the internet has affected print journalism or not? Your views? Anyone? How the internet has affected the print journalism? First thing is, see, the as you all know, the internet is a time saving resource, right? You can research online, you can save your time. For journalists and for editors, it's a boon, right? You don't have to rush here and there to get information. You can simply search or research online, especially for reporters who are looking for background information of any event, right? So if anybody care to dig and look more into more in-depth information, you can see a lot of articles there, right? Already written articles, you have columns, right? You have features, feature stories, and both in print and broadcast publications. You have access to all this information as a backgrounder to your story. So first thing is it has saved time for the journalists, right? And what influences do online journalists have on their audiences in comparison to conventional media or mass media journalists? The influence of online journalists have on their audiences. Yesterday, we were discussing in detail about different types of audiences who are mass audiences, right? See, while audiences for online journalism remain smaller than the audiences for mass media journalism, here online journalists have the same influence on their audiences that mass media journalists have, right? Because by choosing which stories to report, by choosing which facts, quotes, and other story elements to include, and also not only to include which elements to exclude, that is also another feature you can choose, right? By choosing to tell the story from a particular point of view, all these things online journalists also have same freedom as mass media journalists, so the influence is almost the same. Okay. And the webs here, the online or the web's interactivity and hyperlinking gives the journalist more opportunities to examine multiple points of view, right? You have so many point of view, so you can take the comments. People will be commenting on your post, right? So you can read and you can take their point of view in a particular story, right? This is possible. This is not possible in the traditional media, right? Analog media. So here, um, in traditional media also, there is lack of serious space limitations is there in print media, right? But here, in online journalism, it permits online journalists to develop a story more fully. You can provide hyperlink, right? There is no time or space constraint in online media, right? So as a journalist, you can develop a story more fully in detail, and you can also publish the source document and background material as a hyperlink, where your readers can quickly go research, read, and come back, right? So this is another unique feature. Okay. So there is a question that whether this online journalism or the web journalism, new media, would lead to the demise of traditional publications or the traditional or conventional media. See, the answer for this is before I answer, can you give your views on it? Do you think the new media will take over the conventional media? According to your observations, what is going on now? All the publications have their presence online. So do you think, is it possible or it might happen?
Not as of now, not ma'am, but in future, in 4 5 years, the general traditional way might exist, might exit.
There is a possibility, but right now,
As of now, not ma'am, but in near
yeah,
future, like 4 5 years,
there is a
because
possibility.
nowadays people don't have time to read the newspapers and all, so they are going online and checking those things whenever they have time. That's the
Do you think the circulation has declined? Circulation figures have declined in the traditional print media, newspapers or let's say magazines.
Yes ma'am, like I daily read Deccan Chronicle newspaper. So
Mhm.
before I used to read, like physically I used to read the paper. Nowadays I'm just going through the online.
Okay. See, you're right, Daniel. Perhaps some publications will do a better job. I mean, they are creating a profitable relationship with customers than print publications, right? If they have their presence online than conventional publications, because they have increased their revenue system. They still have their conventional newspaper running, right, with the same circulation figure, with a slight decline or so, but still they have the revenue pouring in forms of advertisements. Then, if we talk about online publication, there is advertisement again, right? As a revenue, you have online ads. Then there is something called
Subscription
a
fee.
subscription based model. Yeah. What do you mean by subscription?
To view their paper, I need to pay some money for that.
You have to pay a certain fee to access that particular publication, right? So these media houses are also earning. They have the revenue models both through advertisements and through subscription, right? So this has increased. This has made them business more profitable, and especially those they are into a job of identifying. They're doing a good job by identifying their audiences, right? Who are on the web. Mostly they are youngsters. So sometimes this print publications, they may lose their customers to web publications because if they don't find better or creative ways to deliver news and information and services to these tech savvy, or we call as web savvy youngsters, or the customers, right, who have their presence online on the web. So they have to be more interact. They have to um, look out for more new ways to lure these audiences offline. Okay. So we have so much dearth of information available online, right? So many information is there. So how reliable is online information? Can you say that we can trust information that is available online? Can you trust? Yes.
Not all the platforms, man. Like few genuine platforms. So in online
Mhm.
sell, there is like equal measure, like 50% true, 50% false.
Yeah, you have to, fact checking is important here, right? We can
Yes.
say that it's a mixed bag. That means, and it should be treated the same way that professional journalists treat any other information. Like that means before publishing, you need to cross check as a journalist. That you do. That's the same case in traditional media as well, right? When you're reporting for any newspaper, what you do, you cross check the information, right? So information, and then in the course of reporting a story, whatever information you come across has to be properly cross checked, right? Then there should be good reliable editing and a filtering of information also, right? Gatekeeping function. So it becomes very even more important on the web, because I told you there's a lot of information and trusting the source becomes very difficult. So there is this platform where anybody can publish anything and make it look substantial. That means they can make it look real. So it's your job as a journalist, as an online journalist also, to cross check every information before you publish. So here editorial aspect also becomes crucial. You have to play the role of an editor as well. You have to multitask. Before publishing, you have to cross check your stories. So, what is the future of online journalism or new media? How do you see the future of this online journalism? What can you predict with the advent of AI? We have Meta now, right? How can you predict? How do you see the future of journalism, online journalism? Is it going to stay for long, or it's still evolving? What is your opinion? What is the future? See, most here mostly all the traditional news news organizations, right? Whether it be print or electronic, right? Publishers, broadcasters, they will continue to enlarge their efforts on the web. That means mostly all the papers have their presence online. Most of the news channels have their presence online. They have their YouTube channels. They have their websites, right? They have their separate apps, applications, right? So they will continue with their efforts, right, to have their presence on the web. So this is big money, right? So big money is involved, and this journalism will take online journalism will take advantage of this thing with the advent of new technologies, right? We have this, now we have streaming audio and video, right? With this technology, this traditional broadcast media would like to recreate their approach on the web. They'll try to find new means and ways to have their presence felt online. There is still competition, lot of competition going on. We have many private players. You have so many YouTubers coming in. You have so many independent journalists, right? So the competition is tough, and media organizations are also trying their best to, push themselves hard to have their presence online. So this would be the future where nobody will remain isolated from their presence online from the new media. So now blogs have also become a popular spot, right? Popular venue for ordinary people to engage in online journalism. Anybody can create their own blogs, right? So meanwhile, both within these big organization and outside them also, there are journalists who will continue to experiment and discover how best to use this capabilities of the interactive element, right? Like the hyperlinks, the personalization, right? How do you personalize a particular content? The community. I told you about the post threaded discussions, right? All these things. So all these things will be used to create new editorial environments in which readers will become creators. It's already happening, right? Participants are becoming the creators along with the journalists. Anybody can start a discussion, can create a thread, can post, right? So, along with the journalists, the participants can also bring their responses, their questions, their experiences, and also they can add all these to the story through the threads, through comments, blogs, posts, right? So they can do all those things with the help of the online platform. Okay. So if you want to develop your career as an online journalist, so first of all, you have to be well versed with the technology, right? ICT, that's what ICT is all about. You need to know, learn about the new softwares, right? And first of all, you have to learn the basics of journalism. As a journalism student, you should be well versed with the basics of journalism. You should read more and more books that are, used in journalism courses. And you have to know the basic, distinguish the basic features of different articles that journalists write and the techniques of writing, right? So as an online journalist, you would want to learn a few website basics, how to use internet, right? For research. For example, you will be doing your project in fourth semester. So you have to learn how to use internet for research purpose, right? Plus, you can also use internet for basic investigative reporting. You can search online related articles and reporting techniques online. Okay. So how to create a website, how to create web pages, video production, all the related aspects of online journalism techniques, you should be well versed, right? How to record a video. So you have to be well versed with all these multimedia elements for your online journalism work. If you want to produce an online story. Okay. So obviously you will need to develop good and basic writing skills. That is for sure a very important element. And the best way to do this is to practice your, writing, the kind of articles you like. For example, if you like feature writing, you can practice writing those articles. And you have to find somebody who can help you or guide you in that. For example, an editor, you can show it to an editor, or somebody with appropriate editorial skills who can guide you or to give you feedback and then show you how to improve your article. So that is very important. Practicing is very important. Writing. Okay. And then I would also suggest you to learn about the history of journalism in order to, appreciate the freedom and privileges a journalist enjoy. That means what are the freedom? How is the freedom granted to journalists? What are the laws, media laws? Okay. So that you can write a good story. Okay. it's better you read journalism works, good journalism books of what the previous journalists have written. Okay. So once you have developed an understanding of journalism practice and a basic repertoire of all these skills, so you can start writing the stories. So for that, you need to first choose the subject material. That means the topic and type of article, whether you want to write a feature story, whether you want to write a hard news story, or an interview, etc. You have to just first you have to select that type of story. Okay. So we have in your writing and reporting for media first semester, we have distinguished all these different types of writing, right? The basic types of. So you have to select the basic type of writing based on your interest. Okay. If you are not interested in writing a feature, if you attempt also, then you might fail. So choose what interests you. Then after that, you have to find publications that publish the kind of articles that you wish to write, right? That particular. For example, you can choose a particular newspaper or online journal, right? Which can facilitate your article, which can publish your article. And then you can write some sample articles that you think will fit into the publication's profile. That means if you want, for example, if you want to publish something in Hans India, you have to write something that will, that they will can easily relate to. You have to adopt to their style or approach. Okay. And also what you can do is you can create your own website. You can create a professional website of your own. That's very easy. Uh, if you go to WordPress, right? You can create a website, and then you can publish your sample articles there, right? It's very easy to do this we can start with a blog as well. Okay. Then once you have located those publications that publish the kind of articles you would want to write, then what you can do is you can identify the editor who is responsible for assigning articles to this freelance writer. As a freelance writer also, you can start your career writing. So once you have identified that particular editor, what you can do is you can send a letter to this editor. That means first you have to introduce yourself, right? And you have to ask if he or she would be interested in giving you story or assignments to work on. That's a basic thing. So you have to contact the editor through email, or through, if you are able to access their contact number, you can contact through mobile, right? Through telephone. And you can propose the specific story ideas or suggestions or articles that you would like to write. Okay. Then after that, you can send your sample articles, right? And if you have published your sample articles online on your blogs, if you have created and published there, you can provide the URL of your website or the blog where the editor can see your work published on the web, right? Then after this, you don't have to stop here. You have to continue to find other publications also that may be interested in the articles you want to write. So identify the editors who assign these work to freelance journalists and contact them to see if they'll give you a chance. So at the same time, you can continue to research and write articles that you can publish in your website. Okay. So with this, you will be sharpening your journalistic skills while developing, a sample of work that will provide a demonstration of what you can do, right? Okay, understood, clear? So online journalists means that reporters who are used to fitting stories into a limited amount of space. See, conventional, I told you, right? There was time and space restriction. But here, online journalists have unlimited space. They have to adjust to the idea of this unlimited space. Okay. So you have to adjust. That means it's your creativity that matters here, how you present the story with all the background information. Okay. You can include video, audio, pictures, graphics, animation, whatever multimedia elements you desire to make your story perfect. So it's up to you. You have all the freedom and choice to make your story lucrative. Okay. So, you know what is news hole in newspaper? What is a news hole in newspaper? When designing a newspaper, after fitting the story, there is some blank space in the paper, in the copy. So there you fit the ads. That blank space is known as news hole. So, but in online, it's not the case, right? So you don't have to worry about that news hole kind of a thing, because if you at the click of a server, you can easily navigate to another page, or a display ad would pop up. So you don't have any constraint of this thing, times or space or news hole. You don't have to worry about that. So a new media is a combination of the two, right? You can offer unlimited supporting documents for your story. And here the writing itself must be more compact, because you don't need to include background information there, but you can provide a link to it, right? Instead of writing the background information directly, you can provide a link, a backgrounder to your story. Okay, clear? Any doubts? So, what is multimedia? We are discussing about convergence, right? So, what is multimedia? As a journalist, as an online new media journalist, you have to be aware of all these things, terms, multimedia. You need to know how to reach your audiences, right? Through all these elements, multimedia elements. What is multimedia? We just discussed in the beginning of the class, multimedia. Combining of different elements like text, video, audio, graphics, right? Animation, photographs, all these things. Convergence of all these elements is known as multimedia. Okay. So, while choosing a story, you have to be multidimensional in your story writing. That means you have to include video, audio, infographics or charts, right? Then interactive elements also you can include. With AI, you have lot of interactive elements. See, earlier I told you the conventional media was non-linear, right? So here you don't have, as in print, multiple entry points are important as a multimedia journalist. So in print media, we follow the inverted pyramid style, right? But here in online journalism, in a good package story, there is no the first part lead story. I mean, there is no first part or the second part here. You can engage the audiences by letting them look at what's most important to them, right? So it up to you. It's up to you. So a journalist wants to travel all over to cover the sign beats, right? So how do you make his road trip engaging? See, this can also be a good write-up. You can write all these things, but it will be helpful for other journalists as well. Okay. Then how you can choose a case study also. Okay. Or feature writing. You can also choose the non-linear parts, because the stories don't depend on one another to be understood, right? You have to create that. Audio, images, graphics are used wherever it is necessary. Okay. And a long text can be broken into readable sections, different sections here. Okay. So nothing, whatever you write, nothing gets buried, nothing gets cut or can be buried in editing part. You can provide links and tabs and also shortcuts to the other information, other web pages. Okay. So you can create a storyboard. What is storyboard? Storyboard is rough sketch or outline of your story before publishing. Okay. So you can conduct preliminary interviews. You can get a basic idea of what to, before heading into the field, you can expect, you can create, you can write questions. Okay. You can look up anything your sources have published earlier in the print or the web. You can do some good background information research. Okay. You can collect visuals like photos, videos, and if there are any maps or graphics to any particular place from your sources, you can collect, or from the website also online, you can get an idea of the potential story components which you require. So you can track down any previous stories on the similar topic, right? In publish anywhere, whether it in print, video, radio, or online website also, you can um, go through there. Okay. So in creating, there are certain steps in creating a storyboard. First thing is you have to define the elements. That means you have to divide the story into parts, okay? Such as background information. Then you have to write about people who are involved in any incident. So you have to divide in different parts depending upon the story. Then you have to see whether there are any compelling visuals. That means any interesting pictures or videos that you can include in your story. Okay. Or whether you can use any illustration with the graphics. Okay. Or you can also see whether a map could be useful to define the location, precise location. Okay. So once you have done this, you have to identify the media. See, normally video is best for showing action, right? So it takes audiences to a place central to the story if you are including video element. Audio, okay, it's good. If it's good, it adds to video and slideshows. If it's bad, so it takes away the that plus point, right? So, for example, if there is a lot of disturbance in the video, so it's better to cut off that audio. So, see, no, usually audience forgive bad video, but they won't forgive bad audio part. That means audio needs to be good. If there is lot of disturbance, it's better to cut off that. Then text. Text is good for binding a story together by offering background information, right? Or any other details that should not be conveyed through other media. For example, um, text is good if you're giving a background information instead of a video, right? Then you can also use photographs, because photographs are the best media for displaying strong emotion and also keeping the mood. Good picture, a good photograph will make the mood of the viewers. So see, video, they goes by quickly, but photos will illustrate the point of the story, right? Here in the photos also, pictures also, you can add audio and you can enhance the mood, right? You can make it panoramic and you can put the reader there at the place. So there is lot of things that you can do with the audio part also, with the pictures. Okay. Then you can use graphics to show how a particular stuff works. That means you can chart important figures or any ideas, right? You can animate them and you can see, this animation might take your audiences where the cameras can't go. For example, if you are covering a story on a plane crash, so how did this plane crash happen? Where did it crash? All these things can be shown in an animated way, right? In an animation form, so that your audiences will get particular, I mean, idea about what has exactly happened, and also to sustain the interest of your readers or viewers. So this is the best thing, animation, that you can use. Then I told you maps. You can use maps. Maps can show you important locations, right? For example, if you are covering in a conflict zone, you can show locations for war zones. Okay, and then you can couple this map location with other information, right? Like statistics. So you have to keep this in mind. For you can make the help. You can take the help of this Google Maps also for your story. Okay. So if you are including all this, you have to after identifying the media, your storyboard would be sort of ready. So you're working with a lot of media elements, right? What are the media elements now? What we have discussed: audio part, the text part, video, right? Maps, animation, graphics. Almost we have included all the elements, lot of media elements, right? So here, the more complicated your piece gets, the better off you'll be sketching different media, right? Because you're providing an overall perspective about what has happened, about the story, right? So this will help you in thinking about how users will navigate through them. You're providing all the background information, right? For example, if you're covering on a particular, I mean, a plane crash. So you're including all these elements, right? So you're providing extra background information. What is the spacecraft? What is who are the makers? Why did it crash? Okay, you can do a quick research on the parts used in the engine. What has gone wrong? A quick stuff or research on this also would help. So it's up to you how creatively you can define your story. Okay. So reporting with multimedia involves lot of creativity, right? Because you are a multimedia journalist, you're heading out into the field for a big story that will that will make you utilize all of these elements that we have just discussed, right? The audio, the text, audio, video, okay? Then maps, animation, graphics, statistics, all these things should be combined, okay? And what are the equipments if you're going on as an online reporter or an online journalist, if you're going into the field, what are the equipments that you would require? What are the general equipments that you would require? Yes.
Internet.
Yeah, internet, the devices to record, camera,
Camera. Yes.
general the equipments. Yeah. You would require batteries. What are the other things? Audio recorder. Then you would require cables, still cameras or mobile phone these days. Sometimes if you want to record interview, you would require a microphone, right? Okay. Then GPS locator to find out the location that can be easily tracked with the help of your mobile phone. Okay. So all these things are the basic elements or equipments which an online journalist require before heading out to the field to cover a big story. Okay. See, though you are a multimedia journalist now, but you don't have to forget the old school thought. That means do not forget to carry your notebooks and writing instruments, right? Your pen to make notes. Okay. So after heading to the field, collecting and gathering information, then after coming back, you have to now do the role of an editor. You have to multitask. That means you have to edit. For if it's a video, you have to keep them short. Okay. The average length of video elements on newspaper sites would be 2 to 3 minutes. So here editing can take for just if you're covering lot of footage, if you're bringing in lot of footage, and if you want to cut short to 2 to 3 minutes, then this editing can take place for 3 to 4 hours. So you have to keep them short. Okay, don't have to bring in lot of footage, unnecessary footage. So it's not like television show. You have to show talking people, for a few people talking for just for few seconds, just the important part. Others you can discard, which is not important. Okay. Then if you are editing audio, you should use only high quality audio. That means if the quality of the audio is very poor, you have to simply discard. Okay. So only that exception which is necessary to your piece, that you have to keep. Then you have to use subtitles with the audio, because if you have no other options, or to if your witness or your counterpart, if they are talking in any other language than your other than your publication, it's better to give subtitles, right? Because your audiences are heterogeneous, they're spread everywhere. So you have to provide appropriate subtitles. Okay. Then you should avoid using background music for state news pieces. Okay. You should not use background music. You have to just directly give the facts. For example, if you're covering um, a train accident, you don't have to provide background music there. Okay. The ambience will speak itself. So the ambience is important. You don't have to provide any background music. Okay. And also this web compression will already, they'll take away all the sound, the ambient sound. So it's, if you are adding music to that element, it will make it worse. So avoid doing all those things if you're working on a serious topic. Okay. Then if you're editing text, see, text is of course the comfort zone for most of the print people, right? Because this is a medium, they fall back, and when they are unsure what else to do, they'll just simply go back to the text print form. So here text is fine for your headers, I mean for headings, for captions. You can use text, and background information. Also I told you, you can use text instead of video. So, but be sure to supplement that background information with some kind of audio, or if possible, if you have any visuals also, you can make use of it. It will make sense. So, see, remember how this newspaper readership falls when you do the opposite by shortening your text or breaking it up with other elements. You can keep your people interested, right? People interested in your story. That means you have to keep your text short. You can include other elements. Okay. That means a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? So you can include a picture instead of a long text. Okay. That speak for itself. So this text only works best for if you're incorporating only text element. This will work best for political or I mean opinion pieces, or pet pieces, editorial pieces, and short updates, breaking news. Okay. If you're going to provide, only text will be enough. Okay, so you don't have to provide any photograph or a video to supplement your story or your text. Only text is enough for this. Then see, photos, as you all know, that web is a visual medium, right? So here you have to be sure to include photos wherever possible. You can include pictures wherever you can see. I told you that photos, normally if single photo would replace 1,000 words. So here, see, images are just not there to make things pretty, right? They help explain things. So photo can be used two ways. That means photos can be used individually to set a mood, or you can include photos in group to tell stories. Like, for example, you can use a slideshow of photos. That you can use this slideshow of photos to tell a complicated topic. So which will be simplified with the help of those pictures. So wherever necessary, you can incorporate all these kinds of things. Okay. Then another element is graphics. See, graphics earlier, how it was like, they are just still not the still images anymore, right? Now you can make graphics interactive also, right? Like you can use you have this maps, clickable maps, you have navigable locations, you have this 3D features in graphics that you can incorporate. Then see, creating your own interactivity with the help of graphics obviously will take time, but generally you have this flash animated graphics, right? You can use this into the story. You can easily create this with the help of Google, and in Google Map also you can include this interactivity feature. Okay, it will help supplement a larger story. So you have to think whether the map is just a part of the story, or you want to illustrate where something or important things that have happened. You want to point out a particular location where something important has happened. So that there you can simply use the map, and you can include this interactive element through graphics, 3D graphics. Okay. So while producing the story also, multimedia journalists, they have multiple editors. That means, for example, you are your actual editor first. Okay. Then you work closely with your web designers, with your technical team, right? Web developers. So you're not alone. It's not a single person effort. You have to work as a team. Okay. You are usually you're not expected to do all those technical things yourself, but you have to, learn how to manage the technical aspects also, designing aspects, the layout. Okay. You have to work with the technical team to solve few technical glitches while uploading the story, and you have to make sure that the presentation which you are making to your story follow the website style, like how in conventional media we have style books. Similarly, you have this website style also. So you can work with the technical team to follow, or you can learn yourself. Okay. So you have to have an open discussion with the team members. You have to have open communication with these people. Okay. So uh, in giving you the byline of the story, these people play a very important role. They also do as much work as you do in bringing out the story in a proper way, in a proper format. Okay, so you have to take care of all these interactive elements. Okay, so multimedia includes all the elements of a story, that is the text, audio, video, okay, graphics, animation, photographs, maps, okay, and also infographics or statistics. All these play are the important elements of multimedia storytelling or reporting. Okay, clear? Any doubts? Is it clear? Yes, be interactive, please. Okay, so shall we move on to next topic? Now we have been discussing about all these elements, right? Uploading as a multimedia journalist, it's your job to post or upload stories online. Okay. So there are certain formats in which you can upload your stories. Okay. And then if you're talking particularly about image file size. Okay. So this image file size, they are expressed as the number of bytes. Okay. And this number of bytes increases with the number of pixels composing an image. Okay. And here the color and depth of the pixel matters a lot while choosing the file size, the file type. Okay. Here, the greater the number of rows and columns, the greater the image resolution, and also the size of the file also depends on the uh, number of rows and columns. Okay. And the image resolution depends mostly on that. If you're if you're taking a larger file, then obviously the resolution of the image would come down. Okay. So it particularly depends on the size of the image. Then there are some formats. Okay. uh, JPEG, TIFF, GIF, BMP, RAW, PNG, all these are some of the formats. Okay. So JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. Okay. So this JPEG compression is at its best with photographs. If you are choosing photographs as a file, you can use JPEG. Okay. And then you for paintings, photographs. Okay. It will ensure a smooth variation of tone and color in this JPG format. Okay. And for web usage, where the bandwidth used by an image is important, here the JPG plays a very important role. It's a very popular format. Okay. And if you have other graphics, then JPG is not a suitable format, okay, to choose. Because if you are opting for graphics, then GIF or TIFF format, raw image format, or PNG format are, better to be saved in, for this kind of graphics. And this JPEG supports 8 bits color per color. That means you have red, green, blue, RGB, right? 3 colors, red, green, blue. So for a 24-bit total, this 3-color format, they supports 8-bit colors, 24 colors. Okay, with the help of these 3 colors. And this JPG format is not suited to files that will undergo, if you want to edit your files multiple times, multiple edits, then this JPG format is not at all suited, because it will result in generation loss. That means the clarity will be gone. So to avoid this, the image that is being modified or maybe modified in the future, it should be saved in lossless format such as PNG format, or you have to create another copy and save it in PNG format for later modification or edition. And then later you can export this copy as JPEG for uploading or distribution. Okay. Then another format here is TIFF, that is Tagged Image File Support. Okay. So this format is very flexible and adaptable file format for handling images and data within a single file. Okay, within a single file. So this includes the header tags, that means the size, the definition, image data arrangement, then defining the image geometry. Here the ability to store image data in a lossless format, this will make a TIFF file a very useful image archive. That means if you want to archive the image, if you want to retrieve the image at a later point of time, this TIFF format is very suitable. Okay. So this TIFF format has 8 bits or 16 bits per color. So what are the colors? Red, green, blue, right? So each color have 16 bits. Okay. So this TIFF format is not widely supported by web browsers, but this is widely accepted as a photograph file standard in the printing business. If you are into printing business, if you have a printing press, there this format is widely accepted. Okay. And for scanned image text pages also, this TIFF form is, a very good format to choose. Then another one is GIF, that is graphics interchange format. Okay. So this format is limited to 8-bit palette. That means it has 256 colors in 8-bit palette, and this is suitable for storing graphics. Because why they have more colors? Because these are moving images, right? Graphics interchange format for moving images, videos. So this is suitable for storing graphics with few colors. For example, if you are making a diagram, or if you are choosing some shapes, logos, cartoon style images, okay, this one is suitable for storing all these things. Then it is more effective when if you're making a particular drawing, a large area is in single color, then it is more effective, because lossless compression is not there. if you're using a single color in a large area. Okay. Then we have something known as BMP file. Okay. That means Windows bitmap file. The BMP file format handles graphics files within the Microsoft Windows operating system. So these BMP files are uncompressed. That means if they are uncompressed, means they are very large files. So here the advantage is their simplicity. That means if you have large files and uncompressed files, this can be stored in BMP format, okay, Windows bitmap format for future use. Then another format is PNG. So PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics. Okay. So this file format was created as the free open source successor to this GIF format. Okay. And the PNG file format supports 16 million colors, which is known as true colors. Because I told you GIF supports only 256 colors, right? Whereas PNG format supports 16 million colors. So this PNG file excels when the image has large or uniformly colored areas. Uniformly colored area means all the areas are colored in the same way, same uniformly. Okay. Then this PNG format is best suited. It is suited for editing pictures. If you want to edit your pictures, this format is suitable. And all contemporary web browsers now they support PNG format. Okay, and extensible format for this is, it can be stored and retrieved at a very faster speed than the other formats. Okay, then we have something called as raw format. Okay, so what is raw format? Here in raw format, minimally processed data from a digital camera image or a motion picture film scanners, uh, they are processed. Okay. And see, raw files are so named because they are named as raw because they are not yet processed. They are yet to be processed. The films, okay, in the conventional camera, we used to have the negatives, right? Films that are yet to be processed, that are in raw form. And therefore, they are not ready to be used with any of the format, right? Unless and until they are printed. So here image is processed by a raw converter in a wide, internal color space where certain adjustments have to be made before you want to convert this negative image into a positive format, right? Formats such as JPG or TIFF, okay, other format for storage or printing or other purposes. So this raw format is unprocessed version of the file or photograph that needs processing. Okay. So this raw format, sometimes they are called as digital negatives, right? So as they fulfill the same role as negatives in film photography, is the negative is not directly usable, right? You cannot use the negatives directly. You have to process that particular negative and you have to convert them, right, into a positive form, a form that can be used for printing, right? You cannot directly use a negative as an image, but that particular negative has all the information needed to create an image, right? Okay, it's in a format that needs to be processed. So this is raw format. Okay. So these are the formats that are used to store pictures, okay, online, and you can upload in any of the format depending upon the use. Okay, depending upon your use. Clear? Any doubts? Yes. Earlier in offline classes also we discussed about Shannon and Weaver model, right? So we'll have a quick revision of what exactly is this Shannon and Weaver model. Okay. See, in 1947, Claude E. Shannon, a research mathematician, was working for Bell Labs. Okay. So what he did, he created a theory of communication designed to facilitate information transmission, okay, over telephone lines. So later, Warren Weaver added the component of feedback uh, to the Shannon's linear model. So thus making it in effect a circular model. So although the original intended model was used by engineers, it was used in a linear way. It was dealing with the information that was only one way. Okay. Now, Shannon-Weaver model is one of the most popular interpersonal communication models which are used today. Okay. Okay. If we talk about the model, we have, okay, within the Shannon-Weaver model, there exist 8 key elements that are required for communication or information transmission to occur. Okay. So these elements are, we have a source, then we have an encoder, we have a message, channel. You remember SMCR model, right? So it's same way we have a source, encoder, message, then we have a channel, we have a decoder, there is a receiver who receives the message, then in between there is noise or disturbance, and then again there is a feedback from the receiver to the sender. Okay. So to understand how this Shannon-Weaver model pertains to communication, it is necessary to define each individual elements. Okay. That means source. What is a source? The source of communication is the initiator or the origin of the message, right? That puts the model into action. So source is very important. So it is an individual, right? Source can be an individual or a group that has specific reason to begin the communication process, right? Then there is a message that they will wish to receive. Then another one is the encoder. See, once the purpose of the source has been decided, there should be a specified format for the message to take, right? That means after source have sent a message, that message has to be encoded, right? So this is what the communication encoder does. It takes the concept that the source wants sent out, and he puts it into a suitable format for later interpretation. Okay. Then there is a message. Message is nothing but the information or the idea or concept that has been communicated from one end of the model to the another, right? This is the message. Message is been transferred from one end to the other. So most of the time in human communication, the message contains a distinct meaning, right? As you all know. So when this model was created, Shannon and Weaver were not concerned whether the message had any substance or not, but they were mostly focused on whether the transmission was done, whether the message was transmitted or not. They were not worried about the encoding and the decoding aspects. They were not worried whether the message was understood in a proper way or not. Okay. Then there is a channel. Okay. See, it is essential for a meaningful communication that a suitable means to transmit the message should be selected, right? Here, the channel is the route that the message travels on, right? Be it verbal, written, electronic, or otherwise, right? It can be print media, it can be a television, newspaper, radio, okay? Any channel through which the message is being transmitted. It is the route, okay? Then there is another element known as noise. See, noise, it is inevitable, right? That noise may come, it can come anytime. A technical disturbance, right? Noise is nothing but disturbance. Uh, During any time of the communication process, we can expect noise, right? So this noise could be considered as an interference or a distortion that changes the initial message, right? The message which was sent out from the source. So this noise could come in between that message. So anything that can misconstitute the message could be noise. So this noise can be physical, right? As an actual sound that no, the message as it is being sent, or it can be semantic. That means like if the vocabulary used within the message is beyond the knowledge of the knowledge spectrum of the recipient. If you are not able to understand my language, then again, this is also known as noise, semantic noise. Okay. So in order for communication to be effective, noise must be reduced. So this disturbance noise part should be reduced. Then there is decoder. See, before the message reaches the intended recipient to the receiver, it must be decoded, right? So, or it should be interpreted. See, from its original form into one that the receiver understands. So, this is the process of decoding. This is essentially the same interaction as that of source and encoder, okay? Only in a reversed sequence. Then there is receiver, okay? Say, in order for communication to be executed, there must be second party at the end of the channel, right? The source has used a medium to send a message. So there should be another second party to receive. So here the receiver, what he does is he takes in the message that the source has sent out. Okay. Then we have feedback. So for meaningful communication to come to, action, it is vital that the receiver provides feedback to the source, right? Feedback relates to the source whether their message has been received or not, and most importantly, it has been interpreted accurately or not. So without feedback, the source would never know if the communication was successful or not. Okay. So ongoing communication is made possible by this thing, feedback, by this rule. Okay. The route which feedback allows. So it is more communication. If more communication between the two parties is necessary, between the sender and the receiver is necessary, they can follow this model indefinitely. I mean, the process of feedback. So by defining and understanding the various components of this Shannon and Weaver model, you can, an individual or any source can utilize this model in their own communication aspects. Okay. So this is also important question. Okay. Please make a note of it for examination. Okay. Shannon and Weaver mathematical model. Okay. Clear? Any doubts? So today is the last class. Please let me know if you have any doubts. If you have any doubts, you can reach out to me. I'm sharing my details here, my email ID in the chat box. Okay. You will be given assignments by next week. Okay. This is my email ID. You can reach out to me, and this is my contact number. Okay. Okay, then all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Bye.
Bye.